La emisión está comenzando. Todos los asistentes están en modo de solo escucha.
Hello, good morning. We're just going to welcome to the seminar of CYPELUX. We're just trying the sound. If someone can send us a message that the audio is correct, please. Hello, is the audio okay? Okay, thanks, Mr. Corral. We will be waiting around 5 minutes, so that maybe some people would like to join us. Okay, and we'll be starting in 5 minutes. Thanks for your patience.
Okay, hello everybody. We are going to start the seminar. I believe the sound is fine because you told us. So I'm going to start. I'm Victor Diaz. I'm in charge of the lighting department of CYPE. So I'm going to explain you the how works or tools related to light design. In concrete, I'm talking about CYPELUX. So to do that, I will introduce you in Bimserver.center or platform or Bim project platform where we can create and manage Bim projects. So and after that, I will show you our modeler, the FC Builder, that we will use to design the building that we are going to calculate in CYPELUX. And finally, I will show you CYPELUX and how the software works, how the calculation runs, and how it's integrated in the Bimserver workflow. Okay. So if you are seeing my screen, I believe, I think so. Okay. This is Bimserver.center. This is our Bim platform where we can create a project or download application and create new relationship with the contacts with the people that are registered in the platform. So first of all, we need to create a new project to work with Bim. I'm going to do that. Okay, I will do an example first. Okay. Okay. We can select we can choose a type of project. In this case, it's a course. We can select the visibility. We want to let the project open to the rest of the people of the platform. In this case, I will let it, and we can let the rest of the user to ask us for to ask us to join to this project. Okay, if we let it open. I create the project. Okay, so now we can start working with this Bim project in between CYPELUX and FC Builder. Okay, this is FC Builder. I have it running before. Okay, this is a software that we have developed to design architectural models. Okay, integrated in our Open Bim workflow. This is similar to Revit, ArchiCAD, or the rest of Modeler. But in this case, this is really easy and it's totally free. You can download it from the CYPE website or from Bimserver.center store. Okay. So I have a model that okay, I'm going to show you the 3D view. This is a project that we have as an example in FC Builder, and it's really built. Okay. You can see how it works. We have several floors. Okay, and we can design walls, slabs, columns. Okay, the software only asks for geometrical information. Okay, only the thickness in this case. So the software is not going to ask for specific information because that information are related to the specialized software. Okay, for example, in this case, if the builder is not going to ask us for the information related to reflectance of the facade because we want to define that data inside CYPELUX. Okay. So we have walls, slabs, and of course we have spaces. In this case, we have offices, corridors, dinings, lifts. Okay, typical type of space for a office building. So what we have to do is to export this information to the Bim project that we have created before. Okay, so to do that we use the Bim model options. And we need to connect this model to a Bim project. So sorry, we are going to set the project. Sorry. Okay, here is CYPELUX. This is the project that we have created before in Bimserver.center. And we are going to export an ISC with the geometrical information that we have generated inside ESC Builder. We can also export the templates from that we have imported here from a DWG or DXF file. Okay. Now it's finished. And now this is how it works with ESC Builder. The second step is to go to a specialist tool. In this case, to CYPELUX, because we want to show you our software of lighting design, that is CYPELUX. So I'm going to open it. Sorry. Just a second. Okay, we can find CYPELUX the same as ESC Builder. We can find it in the Bimserver.center store or in the CYPE website. It will be inside the CYPE suite. Okay, so I'm going to open it. And I'm going to create a new project. In this case is, I believe, Office, for example. I'm going to import the model. To that, we need to choose the project, the Bimserver.center project that we have created, and where we have export the architectural model. So I'm going to order. Okay. Now we are going to import all the geometrical information. Okay. This is the ESC Builder model. You can see a 3D view of the model, and I'm going to import all this information inside the software. We can choose the floor that we want to introduce it. This is all. And the same with the pressings of the rooms. Okay, we have a summary of the importation that we accepted. Okay, and now we are inside CYPELUX. We have the 3D view of the BIM model in this corner, and we have all the floors with the rooms already imported. Okay, so we don't have to define this information inside CYPELUX because we obtain the rooms and the walls and the windows from the BIM project. So we have it ready to introduce the luminaries, the information about the lights, and the resource information to calculate the lighting, the luminance or the glare inside the rooms. Okay. So first of all, we had to define the general parameters. In these windows are related to the information that we want to obtain, the parameter that we want to calculate, and the limits that we want to set. Okay. So we have, for example, for all the project, we can define a maximum power in watts per square meter. Okay. And for the zones for each room, we can define some limits from lighting, from geometrical installation, for the geometrical information of the installation. For the luminance at the wall plane, the floor level, the same for the normal light, for the normal lighting, and for the emergency light. Okay. We can set different values of luminance required in the equipment and the evacuation routes. Okay, this is needed to obey the standards related to the emergency light. Also, we have the possibility to import information, to import types of zones related to a code. For example, for Europe, we have the standard EN 12464. Okay, For Spain, we can import the information from the CPE, and for Portugal, for the RECS. Okay, in this case, we are going to import some types of zones from the standard for Europe. Okay. I believe this could be fine. We accept it, and now we have in the zone library some types of zones that we want to use in the project. Okay. For example, limits for offices. I can open one. Sorry. Okay, and we have a limit for the chromatic performance, a limit for the luminance, a limit for the uniformity and the glare. Okay. Also, we have an explanation of, for these values and the limit value. And with all of this, we are going to calculate and to verify the result obtained with the limit value set in this window. And after that, we could generate a document, a report of the calculation with the information obtained, the limits, and the explanations. Okay, we have set the panel, we have set the window, and save it. And now we need to define the different type of rooms. For example, this running room, and to set the data related to the lighting, related to the lighting performance, and the checks that we want to verify in this type of rooms. To that, we go to the library of zones, and we need to define the properties of every type of zone. Okay, for example, this dining is internal. We can set the plane for illuminance and glare. We can let a marginal band to avoid to calculate the luminance in this part of the building, of the zone, sorry. We can define a maintenance factor for the calculation. We let the user a help to that, and also an assistance to calculate it. The same with the reflectance of the walls, the ceilings, and the floor. Okay, we let some typical values, and finally we need to assign the checks. Okay, in this type of rooms, for example, this dining room could be a canteen. We can introduce these checks, and now the software we are going to calculate those values and to verify this with the standard. Okay, we accept it, and we have to do the same with the rest of the disclosures. Okay, in this case, a whole. Okay, and I believe the office is more important. Okay, and we can do the same with the rest of rooms. I'm going to let it without definition. Something important is that in corridors, we need to set the luminance at the floor level, the glare at 1.5. Okay, this is typical for in this type of rooms. You can find this in the standards. Okay, and we can set it. It's the same with the hall, sorry. And we have defined all the rooms. Okay, you can see that the red crosses have disappeared. Now we have some red cross in the window because we have to define the properties for the light for the daylight related to this type of elements, because we have defined the windows in FC Builder, but we didn't assign them properties. Okay, so we go to the library of windows, and we can define the transmission rate and reflection index. Okay, I will let it by default. Okay, and now we can you can see that the model is fine, and we can start to define the position of the lights. Okay, so that I'm going to explain how a luminaire can be introduced inside the software. I'm going to open the library of internal lighting, I'm going to introduce a new line. Okay, we have several possibilities here. For example, we can define the properties manually. We can set a reference, for example, LED luminary, and we can define the dimension, the reference, the number of lamps, the luminance flux, okay, and all the data for the photometric curve. We know that is not usually, but we can do that if you have the information from a catalog and you don't have a file, a photometric file, okay, that I will explain you how to import. So you can define every data to fill out the parameters, and after that you can export information in a library file for CYPELUX, and after that you can import it. I'm going to do that. For example, I have a luminary defined before. We have in the desktop. Okay, here. I have a download LED that I have defined before, and I have saved it. Okay, so you can see that we have imported information and the photometric curve is the same. It's a possibility. There are other possibilities to use a default the typical luminaries that the software includes by default. For example, this fish, this surface, this downlight. Okay, these are examples that you can use and change the lamps, and you can import it. It's the same. You can import from the predefined library, and this is another way to do that. And finally, the most usually way to import a luminary is to use the photometric files that the manufacturer let us. There are two types: the EULUM-DAT and ISNA from Europe and North America. Okay, so I can import a file. You can download this file from the websites of manufacturer, because these are typical. It's a typical form of transmission of information, so they usually have it in their websites. So I have ones in the desktop in the same folder. Okay, I have two. I'm going to import this. It's a IES file and set it. Okay, and we have imported this luminary. Okay, so that are as you can see, there are so many possibilities to introduce a luminary in the software. I show you how to do that, and we have now three types of luminaries. We have set it, and now we can start positioning the luminaries in the model. So, for example, we are here in this hall. I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to introduce an internal lighting. The software asks for what type of lighting we want to introduce. In this case, this lamp. And we can do that directly in the model. I have activated some. Sorry, this is not. Okay, some properties to help us. Okay, and this is the way of how we can introduce luminaries literally in the software. Okay, I do that really faster. I didn't think about the position. You can refresh the 3D view. Okay, we can change the height. For example, we can change the height to 3.3 meters, and we can assign it for the rest of the luminaries with this tool. Okay, we can refresh the 3D view, and you can see the luminaries in the model. Okay, sorry. I will let you to see it better. Okay, here's. It's the same with the rest of rooms. There are other possibilities. You can introduce automatic distribution, for example, a linear distribution. Okay, it's fine. We can define a line, and now we can choose a luminary, for example, this lonely LED, set a head, assign the direction and the alignment, and put a number of luminaries. Okay, we accept it, and you can see, okay, I didn't choose a good way to do that, because, and we had to, sorry, we can change the type of alignment. Okay, 3, but this type. Okay, now we can see it. We can let the half of the space between luminaries now is let between the luminaries and the wall. Okay, and also we can set circular distributions. Okay, that is the same. With 3 meters, we can set 5, and automatically the software let us have circular distribution. So after that, we can set standard lighting or emergency lighting. Okay, we don't have any outside zone here, but I will let emergency lighting. I will insert in the model. For example, I will introduce a emergency lighting from the predefined types. Okay, and we can use it in the entrance in the doors. Okay, this is a way. Also, we can introduce escape routes to calculate the value luminance in this type of elements in order to check these values. Okay. After that, you will see that this information can be imported from other ISC for a CYPE file or other type of software that are more efficient in the introduction of this type of element because they are related to the calculation of fire protection. Okay. So this is fine, and the same with the requirement. You can see the safe protection requirement as a fire extinguisher. So we can set 1. Okay, so really easy. And after that, once you have all the installation ready, we can set a parameter for the light. Okay, in this case we don't have dialed, but we can calculate some type of dialed in function of the location of the scale models. Okay, so all the calculations are carried out by the Radiance calculation engine. So this type of models are predefined in this calculation engine, so you can choose one of them. And in this case, I'm going only to calculate the daylight factor, okay, to be faster. So after that, I believe we can do a calculation. I'm going to calculate only one room, this hall. Okay. So now now we send the information, the geometrical information and the information related to the luminaries to the Radiance calculation engine, and it is going to return out the results.
In the meantime, if you have any questions, you can use the chat to write the questions. Okay, we'll be responding either during this presentation or in the end of the presentation.
Okay. It's just a second. Okay. And now the calculation is finished. If we select the room, we can see the results. There are some general results and some information related with the verification that we want to check. In this case, this is a place of public assembly, a general entrance hall. We have said it before in the room's definitions, and we are checking the chromatic index, the luminance, the uniformity, and the glare. Okay, you can see that all the parameters are checked. We can see the results with ISO values map, and we can see it in the 3D view also. Okay, we need to turn on the first lab, okay? And we can change, don't say the luminance and the glare, okay? And sorry, the luminance of emergency lighting in this case. Only the luminance produced by the emergency lighting. And as we go to the safe protection equipment, we can see the luminance at this point. Okay, and if we want to have a report of the zone, we can do it also, and we will get the general information and the checks. Okay, so we can export this information in PDF, docx, okay, as the result of the software of CYPE. Okay, and of course we can export to Bimserver.center this information. Okay, so once we have it defined, we can export the luminaires that we have introduced here to an ASC and introduce it inside the Bimserver.center project. Okay, I'm going to do that. I don't want to calculate it. Okay, and now we have it export. I'm going to save it, and you can, at this point of the project, we can return to the Bimserver.center platform, to the website, and I'm going to check what we have uploaded in the project. Okay, now you can see that we have two files, one for the architectural model and one for the CYPELUX. Okay, if we open the model, you can see that we have in the viewer of the website the 3D model and the information of CYPELUX. Okay, the luminaries that we have introduced before, and this information. Sorry. Okay, so the information of the 3D view of the 3D model and the rest of the installation are also available through the Bimserver.center, and you can share this information to your contacts or the rest of collaborators of the BIM model. Okay, of the BIM project. Sorry. So we can carry on CYPELUX. I have defined only information of one rooms, but I have a project with the wall building finish. I'm going to open it to work with this. Okay, so this is the same building, but but in a real BIM project. So you can see that all the wall building are finished. We have information not only for lighting, also for HVAC, from water systems, for fire protection, and for other type of installation. So you can see it in the different layers. I'm going to let it read, okay. And now in the project you can see that we can find all the installation finished in every floor. Okay, I'm going to show you the results. So okay, and I'm going to show in the 3D view too. Okay, that's it. Okay, and what I want to show you with this is despite also we can see not only the information for one single room, we can show a complete report from the building through this option. We let the user to see a calculation annex. Okay, here we can find the information, all information related to the calculation. Okay, so information about the interior lighting, the properties or the parameters, the values of the parameter that we have used to do the calculation, the luminaries that we have introduced in the place, in the zone or in the room, sorry. The design values obtained, illuminance, glare, uniformity, the result for the emergency lighting, the properties of the luminaries of the emergency lighting, and the values obtained in the escape routes and the key events. Okay, it's the same with all the space that we have defined in the software. So this is a complex calculation annex that we can export, and we can and you can export in a PDF and access the same, but when you upload the project through to Bimserver.center, you will have it available also in the platform. Okay, I will show you this project. This is Office project. Okay, and here we can find the CYPELUX ISC. And I believe that is not, yeah, but this is. And you can go to the annex and see it through Bimserver.center. So you can share this information to the rest of collaborators, the same that the 3D view. Okay, and finally you can get another report that is the project where we can see the verifications only. Okay, here we are checking, sorry, the rooms related to the European standard. Okay, and if we meet the requirement, we get a check. So we have information about traffic zones inside buildings. So we have 4 types of zones in the floor 3, floor 2, floor 1, the corridors and the hall. Okay, and the same with the rest of the type of zones. Here we have the offices. So we can get another report only with the checks. Also, it's available through the Bimserver.center. And I believe to finish this explanation, we can see the views, the renders that the Radiance allow us to do. And I'm going to show you an example. For example, I'm going to create a new view here in this office. Okay, this is a perspective. I'm going to set the height and the vector, for example, 0.1. Okay, I don't know if there are information about daylight. I'm going to do a view only for daylight, okay? Alright, this is fine. We can change the level of quality. Here we can set the type of light that we want to see, in this case, natural light. So to save, I'm going to render. So now the software is going to call Radiance and create an scene with the natural light. Okay, so in a few seconds you can see a really fast view. This is a render. We only use the information that are introduced in the software, so this is a real picture. We don't use false fake luminance to create this, so you can see that is a bit rude, but this is a typical render for this room. Okay. And I believe this is the general view of the software. I only want to say that there are some elements that I didn't show you that can be imported directly from the BIM model. So in this case, or in this building, you can see that there are evacuation routes or equipments that are not defined this inside CYPELUX. Okay, for example, escape route. Where we have defined this, okay, we have done it in this software, for example, that is CYPE CTA, that is a software for Spain for fire protection, and also in this CYPE design, that is a general software from the rest of the world. And we can define in this software the evacuation routes, the position of the fire extinguishers and the rest of equipment, and you can export this information, import it later in CYPELUX, okay? So if you have any questions about the presentation, you can give us, and I will try to answer you. I don't know.
So the presentation has been finalized, and if you have some questions, you can write them in the chat now. We will be leaving it for 5 to 10 minutes, okay? If not, we'll be waiting. If no, we'll be getting into contact with people who have been attended as well. And if you have any questions as well, you can send them by email as well later on.
Okay. So to finish, I will let you the project finish in Bimserver.center. So here is the same project that we have in CYPELUX finished. We can see it in Bimserver.center. So you can see the rest of installation and the luminaries, okay? And we can use it to share the project to the rest of collaborators, to find collisions, to allow to expect how the work is going, not only in the Bimserver.center platform on the website. You can use also the application for mobile phones, like that we have available for iOS and Android, and you can find it easy through Bimserver.center. You can download it, okay? So okay, so thank you very much, everybody. And if you have any question, you can let it here, and I will try to answer you by email. So don't have any trouble. Don't hesitate to do that. And thank you again for coming to this webinar. I would like to remind you that this application is totally free to use. Both EFC-Builder and CYPELUX, and you can download it from Bimserver.center platform in the store. Okay, you can see it here. You have CYPELUX totally free. You can download it, and the same with EFC-Builder, that is free, and you can download it, test it. I invite you to register in Bimserver.center and to test our software. To give us your feedback if you want. Okay, so thank you, and I will see you in the next webinars. Thank you very much.